So I'm going to start with what is Amazon FBA. And I'm going to start with explaining to you what it is. And after I've done that, I'm going to explain my experience with it and the mistakes I made along the way and what you can learn from it. So basically, I'm going to give you a broad explanation of what it is so you can grasp it. And then afterwards, if you have more specific questions on the topics, we can go more in depth. So Amazon FBA is basically the internet giant Amazon. It's a site where you can sell a lot of products online. Most of the products you will find on Amazon are not Amazon themselves, but there are other sellers selling on Amazon. And the FBA part is fulfillment by Amazon. And what that means is what Amazon will do for you, for the seller, is they will store your product. They will ship it out to customers when they order from Amazon. They will do the customer support and the returns. So the reason why I want to talk about Amazon FBA is it's a very good model to start building a business on, because you don't have to do the everyday work of shipping out products. So what do we have to do if we want to use the Amazon FBA model? So to start off, when I started selling on Amazon, it was about 2 years ago now, maybe 3. I found a course out there on how to do it step by step. And I managed to do it. But along the way, you will meet problem after problem, even though someone will show you. So the first step to starting to sell on Amazon is finding a product to sell. And that might sound easy if you already have a product, and it might also be hard. So I'm going to try to explain to you how I find the products, but I can't show you how right now because I might not have the time. We could try it at the end. So what I do to find products is I go on to Amazon bestseller and I start looking through products that are simple, meaning they're not electronics, they're not foods, they're not clothes. And I try to find if there are ones which I could improve. Because for you to be able to sell your product on Amazon, you need to do something different. And that is the first mistake I did. I didn't do something different. So if there's someone already out there selling the exact same product that you're thinking of to start, but you'd have something different to add, why would it choose you instead of them who already showed like, we have 3,000 views, you have nothing. So the first mistake I wanted to avoid is you have to do something different if you want to sell on Amazon. So write that down. It's very important. In one of the most important things will determine if you will fail or not. So once you found your product, you will have to find someone to make your product. And how do you do that? So there is a site called Alibaba.com. Write that down. You'll need that site. Alibaba.com. So on that site, there are a lot of suppliers throughout the world who are connected, either from China, India, and so on. And on Alibaba, you can basically find the suppliers for your product. And once you've found your supplier, you can start talking with them. Could I make some changes here, some changes here? So you can actually have a communication of ways to improve the product, and they will help you. So have a conversation with your supplier. Now, what we should write to the supplier, I could try to teach you in the end if we will have time over, but now just overall, I'm trying to show you the process. So once we found a supplier, we're going to do step 3. And it's basically, now is where once we have the product and the supplier, this is now when we make our company and we start making an Amazon listing. So when making an account for Amazon, you have 2 options. Making an individual account or a business account. And here's another mistake I made. I would recommend you not to make an individual account if you want to make a living on Amazon. And the reason is you're not allowed to have 2 Amazon accounts unless approved. So for me, I started with an individual account, which has some restrictions. And when I started to sell more, I wanted to upgrade to a business account. The problem is it took Amazon 6 months to approve the paperwork. So I couldn't sell for 6 months. So if you're going to decide to sell on Amazon, I would say straight away, make a business account. So write that down, make a business account. 6 months is a lot of lost money when selling on Amazon. So once you've set up your account, now you're going to make the product listing. And the product listing is basically what people will see when they go to Amazon and search for your product. It will be the title, the pictures, the key points of your product, and the description. And here is also one of the most important. So first was the product you choose, and then it's the product listing. Because even though you have the best listing available, the best product available out there, better than anyone else, if you can show the world that you have that product, people won't know and they won't buy it. So for my second product, I released it. Everything should have gone fine, and it didn't. I sold all my products, but I went break even, and I spent a lot on ads, and I was like, what went wrong? I found a product which had demand for it. I improved the product, but something was missing. So when I changed my title and I changed my images and really tried to show what would I want to know if I were a customer buying that item. So remember this, I really want to understand the product and the listing. Those are the most important parts. So once you got all that done, now it's time to have the fun. And that's basically to start ordering your product. So for your product now, you have already found your supplier, you already made your listing, and are going to make the orders. The mistake I made when importing is, which I didn't know, because you don't know if you don't know. When you import the product, you will need something called an HS code. And an HS code is basically the number identifying the product you want to sell. So I won't have time to show you how to find HS code of this call, but if you have questions, we could go on through that more later. So you need a HS code. And if you're in the European Union, you will need a VAT number, which is basically your tax number for the European Union. So first, HS code, then the VAT, and last but not least, EORI number. And you don't need how to get them now, but you need to know that they exist. Because if you forget this part, you can lose a lot of money, both by not knowing and making tax fraud. You don't want to do that by mistake, or you will pay tax twice. I made that mistake because when you import your product, you pay tax the first time. When you sell your product, you pay tax the second time. And if you've done the part right with all the three things at the start, you can deduct the tax from the second time when you're selling. So for me, I basically lost 20% of my profit by not doing it right. So it's very important to know HS code, VAT number, and EORI number. Just write those down. You don't need how to find them now, but you need to know that they exist. So once you've done all that, you're finally starting to sell. Perfect. And now when you're starting to sell, this is where you start making ads on Amazon. So Amazon has something called PPC, which is pay-per-click, where you can bid on ads on Amazon's platform. And what this will do for you is, even though your product is lowly ranked, it can come up on the first page, so people will see your product, but you're paying money from it. And now if you made the perfect listing and have the perfect product, people will start buying your product and will rank organically. And then you can even remove the pay-per-click, like paying the ads, and now you have a very good profit margin on Amazon. So now when you've done all these parts, what do you need to continue working on the business? Well, once you've done all that work, all you do is buy more inventory to send to Amazon's warehouse and market your product. So you're creating a passive income for yourself. See some questions. We go through the questions shortly. So that's basically the concept of Amazon FBA. Finding a product, sell it on Amazon, and at the end, you'll create a passive income. So I'm going to do some questions before we go on. Will your notes and bullet points be available after the seminar? I can make some if you want to. So now when you've done all these parts, now you're probably thinking, hey Marlon, this sounds like a lot of work. How am I supposed to do that? Now it might sound like a lot of work, and there are some steps, but if you get a guide like step by step on how you do it, it's quite easy. I will be releasing videos further down the line on how to find products to help you out, how to set up a seller account and so on. And what I've found with Amazon is it's really not that hard, to be honest. It's really not that hard. Once you know the process, you only repeat it over and over and over again, and you keep building your mountain. Someone asked, is this webinar going to end with an invitation to buy a course? So at the end of the webinar, I am actually going to offer you something. So I got a question from Olga. So Olga, first I would try, the question is, to open my business account, I need to close my personal account. So first of all, I would try to upgrade to a business one, even though you might meet the problems I had, because it has happened to people who closed their account and open a business account that they got banned anyway. Has happened to people, shouldn't do, but Amazon aren't really that nice sometimes. How much money can you make from each month from Amazon? So my first month selling on Amazon, I sold for 5,000 euros and I made about 2,000 in profit. So it kind of depends on the product, but my product was a very trendy product at the time. But to talk from my experience and other people I know who sell on Amazon, with something from 1,000 euros a month all the way up to 100,000 euros a month. But when you start realistically, it's from 1,000 to 10,000 euros a month, realistically. But when you've done that, you can keep building a product, building a brand, and then you could become the top seller, and then you're making 100,000 a month, and then you start another product. See if there are more questions. Oh, I forgot one. What benefits does Amazon FBA have compared to dropshipping? So when you dropship, you don't really have a brand. So what you're doing with dropshipping is you sell a product to a customer before you bought it yourself. So when they pay you, you buy the item and send it to the customer. So with Amazon, what you can do instead is you can start building a brand with it. So I guess dropshipping would be good to like start out, but long term, I think you would have to do a lot of work. So Amazon, once you basically gotten out the product there, it's passive. At least what I remember with dropshipping is I had to like input their information when buying the product each time. Let's see, what more questions do we have? So open business account. Can you explain more about products that should be bought and sold? What kind of price what profit margins? So profit margins, I would say somewhere between 20 to 40% on your first order. And it's because on your first order, you will also do stuff such as your logo design, product package, translating into German, for example. I sell in Germany, but I'm not German, so I have to pay for translates. But after your first order, your second order will be, the margins will be better, both because you tried out your first product, because you made a smaller order on your first, and then on the second order, you will make a larger order, which means the cost per product will go down, so you can have from 50 to 60% margins on your second order. Let's see. The downsides using FBA. So the downside using FBA is basically they're still Amazon's customers when you're selling on Amazon. And also, it can be expensive to use the FBA program, because Amazon will charge you for selling on Amazon. They will take a fee, like a cut from your price, and they will also take a fee for picking your product and sending it away to a customer. So for lower priced items, it can be harder to make Amazon FBA work. Yeah, and also Amazon got all the control. So for example, I couldn't sell for 6 months. So you can get locked out and kill your income. So to avoid that, what you will do is when you send out the products to your customers, you will have like inserts with your email address, like, hello, thank you for buying our product. If you need help with anything, go into our site. And then on your site, you can capture your customers so they become your customers. And then you could expand to somewhere else. So you don't only have to sell on Amazon, but it's a very good place to start. No, it's not like you're working on Amazon. It's like you're using their platform, following their rules, but even the Amazon staff can be wrong. So a lot of people have been wrongly banned and they got their accounts back, but this stuff still happens. They're very annoying. I mean, I lost my selling privilege several times when I did nothing wrong. It's happened to a lot of people too, and there are professionals working with just making accounts get reinstated out there. So you don't have as much control, but what you earn from it is Amazon's customer base, and you don't have to do the everyday work of shipping out products. Do you offer personal coaching? So I can actually, because you asked the question, I'm going to mention something. So I'm planning in the future to put forward a course on how to sell on Amazon step by step. Because when I started selling on Amazon, there were courses out there showing you kind of how to do it. But what they left out were this part on how to set up your business, when do you need VAT, EORI number, and all this confusion which no one told me about, which I had to Google up. So what I will try to do with that course is to fill in the gaps, but I haven't completed that course yet, but I've made an offer for people who want to start and want to get something right or already came along the way. So what I've put together is it will be a $98 product normally. And it's basically all I learned about Amazon and how to create the perfect listing. So basically how to create the killer listing on Amazon that will work. So it will normally be $98. And I usually don't do coaching, but for those who join this call and buy the product, I will offer a 50-minute free coaching call. And the question is, what will I get with the product? So the product I will be offering is basically, as I said, you will get how to create the perfect listing. Normally will be $98, but just for today, it will be $27. And why will it be $27 today? And it's basically, I just made this course and I want you to learn and do something new, but also I want to create a community. So for those who buy, I will invite you to my current closed Facebook groups. We're not many members, we're currently 30 people. So if you would like coaching and are planning to start on Amazon, I would recommend it for you. So I can link it in chat and you can check it out. And then we will continue on with the Q&A. So I'm just going to find the link. Should be here. Yeah, so community support. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm also doing this, is because when I started selling on Amazon, I had all the community of other people doing it. It was very fun. Like I got this problem and then he had this problem and you helped each other out. But along the way, they fell off and did something else. Can happen. What's the best product to sell? Oh, that's the question everyone asks in every Amazon forum. So that's going to be very hard to find out, but I have some indication what I look for. So I'm looking for simple products, which could basically fit into a shoe box, which are about 5 pounds heavy or 2 kilograms. Something easy like that, which already sells on Amazon. And do you need experience knowledge of that product to sell it efficiently, or can you go with general knowledge? You can go with general knowledge. So what you do is you steal ideas. You go to Amazon and you look at everyone who's performing the best. You see all what they're doing with their product. You find a supplier, make sure it isn't patented, and then you improve it. So you don't sell it personal. Let me see. Something came up on my screen. So you don't sell a personal product, say fine, we'll get it improved. Oh, I should have mentioned that. You will private, it's called private labeling, which you will later make a brand. So on Amazon, if someone makes a listing selling, let's say, this pen, if you're selling the exact same pen and it's not branded, you can jump on my listing. And if I have the lower price, or you have the lower price, and people click buy, they will buy your pen instead of mine. So to avoid this, we will release our own brand. So even though we improve the product, we will also put our brand on it. So no one else can put a look-alike product and sell it on our listing. And it's because Amazon won't allow someone else to sell a look-alike product, because it won't be the same product. So I forgot to mention that at the start, but we will also like branding our products by making our own private label. And once we start selling and it's good sales, we'll also register the brand. So yeah, you're kind of starting a company and then like building up a brand, and then you can keep releasing our products. See if I have any more. Community supported. So like, see. I mean, can still buy a prom because I know there are different laws per region. So to be honest, I haven't sold in the US, so I don't know every law. But I can still give you like the general direction. I can't say like if this state has VAT or not. Some states do, some don't, and it depends on the product. But I guess I could help you, teach you how to find that information. How much money do you have to spend to start up? I would say somewhere from 1,000 euros to 10,000 euros, depending on how fast you want to grow. So the less money you have, the slower your growth will be. You will have to buy cheaper products. There will be more competition. It will actually be harder for you if you have less money. Because if you have more money, you can even make a sloppy listing and it will work for you at the start because you don't have any competition. But once the competition comes up, you will have to improve your listing and so on to make it work. I think I started with, 1,000 euros is what I started with, and then you build them from there. Like, it feels like you don't want to waste that money in case the product doesn't work, but still you've done all the research, so it should work. So at the end of the day, what I did, I was like, okay, I've done all the research, I just have to pull the trigger, and it worked. And once you've done all that, you will get the profit, and then you can buy another set of products, and you just keep building. So the growth goes very fast. It depends on the product, really. So let's say you want to earn 1,000 euros or dollars a month. So what you have to look for is how much is your product selling for, what is the margin, and how many are you selling. So before you start selling the product, you will find out how much they're selling of that product each month, what's the prices on the margin. So it depends on how much money you want. How long does it take? How long does it take to get started? I would say realistically, 12 weeks, you could probably have a product out. It's quite a tight schedule. It might sound like, oh, but I think that's quite a long schedule. So the most of the time you will spend on finding the product, because you will do research and I will give you all the tips, and people will be like, oh, what about this? What about this? And once you've found the product, you start the grind of this getting everything done. And then at the end of the day, you have to wait for the supplier to make the product. For me, I have a month. It takes them a month to create my product. So you can't really make it any faster than that. No, you don't work nonstop for 12 weeks. So let's say you start 1 week and you find your product, maybe you found it. If you don't find it on the first week, you should like continue maybe 10 minutes a day. Just keep looking, because the more you do it, the faster you get finding products. And then you would use freelancers. For, let's say, maybe you don't know how to design a logo for your brand, so you will use a freelancer to do that for you. And maybe it will take them 2 days to complete that. So now these 2 dates, which are removed for the 12 weeks, so you can relax during those days, but then we'll come back and then keep working and so on. I want to buy your product, but concerned about the time commitment. Can you tell me more about the program? What is the structure? How long should I spend each day a week? So currently, I haven't completed my large course. I just have the one on how to create your killer listing, which is great for people who's already selling, but will also be good for people who want to start selling. So what I can tell you is, for those who buy this one, when I release my new course, you will get that deducted, the amount you paid. Do you sell on Germany? So I sell on Amazon Germany, and I can also sell in the UK. So my seller account is eligible for UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. And that's when you open the European account. So when you have your product on Amazon, it's really about, if it's already working, it's about, do you want to make any improvements? It will probably be 10 minutes a month once you release the product, because you don't have to do anything. It's maybe if a customer messages you, say, hey, this one is broken. So can you give us a product idea how to start while waiting for 12 weeks? I did that with someone, and the answer is no, but I can show you how to find products. And the reason why I don't want to give your product is then you will be reliant on me to find your products, because it's one of the most important steps on Amazon is know how to find products. Once you get that down, you won't have any problem to find products. No, I don't do this full time. So I have a day job. To be honest, selling on Amazon can get boring after a while, because once you release the product, you just do the same. Find a new one, find a supplier, make the listing, do the import and everything, put it out there, market, repeat, repeat, repeat. Do you need to invest a lot before making money? It kind of depends on how much research the more you do. I mean, the more research you do find the product, the cheaper product you can get, but it will also take longer time. So it's easier to find more expensive products to start compared to cheap products to start, because the cheap ones are which everyone else is trying to start. But I would say €1,000 is possible. Could do it for less. I know someone who did it with 500. Yeah, €500. And it might sound like a lot, but if you think per unit, it's not really a lot. And like some units might be like €1 per unit, or even half that per unit. So we make that money back quite quickly. Do we have any more questions? So, since we don't have any more questions, do you want me to, since we have time left, do you want me to focus more like one area, like show you on, like educate you more on, for example, do you want to know more about imports? Do you want more about finding products? Do you want to know more about making a listing, or how to find products? Sure. So I can show you one right now, and you will need some programs for it. So let's share you my screen. So let's see, share screen. Here we have, oh, you're seeing my screen, right? Thumbs up if you can see my screen. Yes. So what I do is I go on to Amazon.com, and we want to see which one are doing the best. And often it are the ones who are on today's deals. So you click on today's deals. And what I'm looking for is simple products, which can fit into a shoebox, which are 2 kilograms or 5 pounds, which I can improve in some way. So if you start looking here, clothes, you're not much of a designer, are you? So don't try that as a first product. Here, this could have been a good product to start. Now I already know this one is too saturated, meaning there are too many sellers compared to buyers. So we'll skip this one. Let's see. We could try a sweatband. So we'll open a new link. So what I'm trying here is to collect a bunch of products which we could check out and see if they're good. Yoga mats, I know there are too many selling them. Here you can see 15,000 reviews, but I'm going to open it just to show you. So we have something more. We're avoiding electronics because there are often a lot of return rates due to malfunctions. And we see something. Sometimes you really luck here. Like 2 or 3 days ago, I found 2 or 3 products just for looking on this page. And that was when I was looking for products for the UK or German market. Also, I want to point out, even for people in the US, the UK and German market is like a gold mine. And the reason is because products that too many are selling in the US are just starting to like gain attraction on the UK and German market. So this one, which I will show you now, works for the UK and German. So what they do is I find good sellers on the US and just basically check how are they doing in Germany and the UK, and you'll be like, wow, another product, another product, another product. Now the problem is, to do this, you will need a program, and it's called, I just want to point out, I'm not selling this program, I'm just using it. It's called, can I see it here? It's called Jungle Scout. So the one I use is called the Jungle Scout extension. And what this does, it screens all the product on your page and it checks for like how many products are they selling each month and the prices and the reviews and so on. So you can get an idea if it's a product to start. And you don't want too much competition and want too little. So let's check the Sweet Sweat Jungle Scout. So this is how it looked like. Now we screen, oh, we shouldn't do it like this because not just the product. So we want to find the largest keyword, and the keyword is the word people are searching for to find this product. So Sweet Sweat, what would we call this one? Sports. It's too hard for me. My English is not good enough. Because waist trimmer, I guess. Let's see if it's something like that, or if I think so. Yeah, it's a waist trimmer. So what we're doing is, for the product we found, we're looking for the largest word people are using for the product. And it basically, what is it? If it's a pen, it's a pen. If it's a computer, it's a computer. And once we search it up, that word in Amazon, I open the program and will search on all the products on that page, and it will show me how much they're making in revenue. So now it's loading. So here's size, high demand, high competition. But that's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for revenue, sales, and rating or reviews. So here we have one making 285,000 a month, and it sells about 730. This would have been a great product. The problem is they have 7,333 reviews. So what I'm doing when I'm looking for products is I'm looking for products like this. And once you find someone who got the sales, who got the revenue, is a good price, but there's a few reviews, that's the perfect product to find. So now just to try it out, we can try the waist trimmer on the German market, Amazon.de, and the UK market, Amazon.co.uk, just to see if it's good on this one. So we'll open up the program here too. And this is actually one of the easier ways to find products. And that's why we even recommend for US sellers to start in Europe, just because it's so easy to find products. So here we have medium demand, medium competition. We could probably start selling this one. So average reviews, 133. You could go past that just in 1 year. 47,000, yeah. this is a product which we could probably start. Our current problem here is how we would differentiate ourselves. So when I find products, I would probably take this one, add it to my list, and check it out later. So we'll bookmark this one. Because we don't have time to do everything, because you have to come up with ideas. Oh, what can I do here, and so on. Let's see if we have any comments so far. So I'm just going to pause the sharing to see if I can see the comments. Now, can you get friends to pay people to write reviews? No. So Amazon has been very strict about reviews which you are paid for to review your products and so on lately. So if you would pay someone to review your product, they could ban you. If you get someone else to pay someone to review your product, they could ban you. So that's not how you want to get reviews. The best way to get reviews is to set up an email sequence, sending them an email saying, thank you for buying my product. If you need help with anything, this is what you do. And you send a link to review the product. And also in the product packaging, you put it in an insert on how to review your product. Do you cover all these needs in my course? So for my larger course, which will be done during this month, I'm not done with it yet. So what I made for you currently is the one, how to create a killer listing. So how to create your current listing will be in the larger course. It's currently at $27. It will be at $98 normally. If you buy it for $27, when the larger course get released, you will get the $98 off. And the reason why I made a smaller one is if you want to like dig into selling on Amazon, like started to Google up all these things I showed you so far, you can get like a head start. And also it's to get people to join my private Facebook group. So for 10 first people who buy, you'll get the course on how to create your killer listing. You get invited to the private Facebook group where I will be answering your questions. I think that's very fun to help people with that. And also you'll get the 50-minute coaching call. So if that is something you want, you can buy it. And I will send the link again. And if you want to wait, you can, because the larger one is coming. But if you want to get started now, let's say you start and like you don't have a step-by-step, you started like, oh, I found a product now. Well, what do I do here? Okay, I will help you out while making the course on the side. So it is coming. So people, you don't have to be creative to sell on Amazon. So people, I started 2 years ago. I knew nothing about Amazon. And now I showed you some of the things I know. There's so much and I can't cover everything, but we've gone over 30 minutes. We're hitting 40 minutes now. So if you have some last questions, I can answer them. But after those last questions, we will close this call. And hopefully you've learned something. Maybe you've signed up and you will get the free coaching call and also like pull the trigger and getting started. So there are no more questions. Then all I can tell you people is thank you for coming. There will be more webinars coming up the line, and see you next time. See you people.